So this is the cringeworthy stuff that we're going to be working on recording through. And it's weird as heck, you know, because I know I have had no issues before talking to a camera because, you know, we did that through the last 5 years, last 5 years that I was working full time. And I was certainly doing camera stuff before then, but usually there were people on the other end, right? I know you're there on the other end. I know you're there. I feel like Fran off the Romper Room. I see you and start rattling off your names. But anyway, that might be telling my age too, if you're from Canada and have ever watched the Romper Room growing up. So here we go. And depending on how I've posted these videos already, there may be already another intro video with me in my truck. But so this is just kind of pulling the Band-Aid off. And, I've been spending a bit of time watching a lot of YouTube and seeing people like me on YouTube doing these things. And a while ago, a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, I thought I wanted to start a podcast. And actually, I loved the idea of starting a podcast. And I was going down that path. And in doing so, one of the things that kind of kept popping up was the fact that I don't like to prepare a lot of things in advance. Like, that doesn't mean that I won't do some research and do a little bit of homework, but I tend to be more off the cuff, my style of talking. And, I certainly received feedback from others who were in the podcast kind of learning environment that I was in at the time. And, they kept talking to me more about making sure that I worked on getting rid of the ums and the ahs and all those things and speeding it up and not just riffing and kind of all those. So I kind of explored that because advice is advice, right? Like, absolutely. It is highly, it's good to listen to other people's opinions about what it is that they're looking for. And so for a little while, I started to navigate towards there. But you know what? I shut it down. Like, I stopped doing it because then it became work. And so, kind of put it on the back burner. Things happened. I'm going to be jumping all around because this is not prepared. This is just me riffing. And I'm not saying I won't be prepared in the future, because I certainly know there are a lot of topics. I'm already I'm jotting down notes for some different topics that I want to talk about, because I really want this to be about my story. So, I was working in a, I guess, corporate environment, educational institution environment for a number of years. Actually, I completed 26 years working there, and it was time to retire. And I will talk about my retirement decisions and how I got to that, probably in another video. But anyway, where I'm going with this is that as I was thinking about retirement and kind of planning and doing all the things, and I knew there would be a time when I really wanted to do something like this. I wanted to do some different things. I wanted to maybe do some YouTube, maybe do videos. I really thought I would be coaching people, teaching them, working with them, those kinds of things. And it wasn't, well, obviously, obviously you don't know this yet because I haven't told you all the story. But there were some things that happened, like, bang, as soon as I retired, that kind of pivoted those conversations, and I had to change plans due to health things that I had to help other people navigate through. And so as a result, that kind of changed, a few things. When I started to pick back up, I always thought, I'll do the website work. I will do teaching clinics, and I will with the horses. And just kind of helping people and maybe working online and, doing some of the stuff. And turns out, funny thing, really I should have known this about me anyway all along. Turns out I don't enjoy that stuff. I do. I enjoy figuring out the problem. I enjoy figuring out certain things, and I enjoy, kind of helping people. But I don't enjoy having to be on a schedule. I don't enjoy having to get certain things done within time frames and stuff like that. I want to be able to be flexible and be having my freedom. And that was one of the things that, right? Like, we all think about freedom and what that really means. And so, the last 12 months I spent kind of in a schedule, and of other people's schedules, trying to coordinate all those things. And it wasn't that bad. Really, seriously, it wasn't. It just kind of was just always like that little something that just kind of you were bumping up against. So, this year, everyone's on their proper health journey. And so I'm kind of now it's time. Now I've got to rip this Band-Aid off. We've got to go. And there are things like I have here on my property that I want to do. And I just, this channel is starting at 0. There's no subscribers today. It's like May 2026. And there's no subscribers. I do not have a sweet clue how to monetize. I've seen videos about getting to that level, what you need to do, those kinds of things. So, I'm kind of preparing myself. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. So, as you can see, I'm all over the place. People like me are out here too. And right now, YouTube is serving me lots of different information about people probably in that same kind of path that I'm in. And what I started to listen to and started to watch, and so where I'm kind of cycling back to this podcast conversation from my friends who'd given me advice, is that I've also seen some people that are just telling their story. Not edited, or very, very minimal editing. There are some that are definitely editing out all the pauses. And I don't know where I'm going to go with that. I'm sure is likely, knowing me and my style, I might do it in the beginning. I might not. I am likely, highly probable that I am not going to be doing it in the future myself. Now, if I decide that I do like those videos, if you tell me that you prefer those videos a little bit more edited, meaning all these pauses are taken out, if I start to see that, perhaps in data analytics and stuff, well, of course, maybe I'll pay somebody else to do that stuff. For right now, though, I'm looking at minimal. 2026, I went back and looked at my word for this year. For the last 6 years, I've been kind of keeping a word of the year. So this year, it's simplify. So I'm thinking that I'm going to keep this as simple as possible. So minimal editing, could be all over the place. I might take out a few things, but you're not likely to see polish. I'm not polished. I have rosacea on my nose. Maybe I will get that looked at. My lighting at the moment, I know, is kind of sucky because I'm sitting next to a window, so there is no light on this side. Light is coming in on this side. So I've got this kind of shadow. I will work on that. Next time, maybe I'll actually face the window. So there's things like that we're working on, but we're starting somewhere, right? Starting somewhere. And I think that's the thing, like whether I've been helping people, because I help people with their horses. I help people sometimes with the online journey. And there's always someone starting somewhere, right? Like no matter what, we are just starting somewhere. And even for those that are further along in our journey, if we decide to take a pivot, like that path is starting somewhere because we haven't been on that one before. Just yesterday, my partner and I, it was his birthday, And I took him for lunch, and we drove the mountain roads here. So I live in Nova Scotia, and what we refer to as mountains. I appreciate these are not mountains in some other mountainous areas, but this is what we call a mountain. So the dirt roads, back roads, and so we drove to this restaurant, and it's about 45 minutes from here, and we took the dirt roads, the back roads, and there were a few times when I was on a couple of roads that I had never been on before. And yeah, I've lived in this area, and I'm notorious for taking a road because I wonder where it goes. And so yesterday, that's exactly what happened. We were on a few different roads. It was new to me. I wasn't really sure. And you know, I have a pretty good sense of direction, but wasn't really sure where I was going to end up in terms of that road. And I knew some of the other roads that I needed to get to. And so then once I got through these other roads, then the scenery on the other side was back to being familiar to me. So even, I guess, my thought process in all of this is, even sometimes you start out familiar, you might take a different path because you're curious, and then you get to another spot where things become familiar again because you have been there before. So I don't know. I don't know what this channel name is going to be. I do have another YouTube channel that is my name. But that has been historically me posting for my videos about like the horse stuff, and kind of being a place where if I'm recording for virtual shows that I'm participating in and stuff like that, I'll post them there. I thought I would do helping equestrians with that site and stuff like that, posting those videos there. So I don't know. So I decided I'm going clean. I had a few subscribers, but I know they're my horse friends, which is fine, but they're expecting me to post horse videos there. And I don't want to post horse videos there. Not that I don't want to teach horse training stuff there. That might be my imposter syndrome coming out. But so this is going to be brand new. I again don't know exactly what the handle is going to be. I don't want to talk only about retirement. So at one point I kind of like leaned into that because like that's where I am in my life. But I don't want to be all in on, I only talk about what my life is like as a retired person. I want to talk about other things. I don't know. So it could be like coffee and with me, because I'm almost always having coffee. I don't know what it's going to be, but I am looking forward to it. Even just in this last, it says here I've been talking for 13 minutes. So even just in this last 13 minutes for me, I'm feeling like this is getting much better for me, talking to this camera, than it was 13 minutes ago when I first pressed record and I had to kind of go, bleh, 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 you know. So I don't know if you're still here, and I don't blame you if you're not. But anyway, I hope to see you in future videos, and tell me about you. Tell me what it is that you want to like, what you enjoy, or what kind of paths that you've taken or decided to take that you weren't really sure where you were going. And you know, maybe that's part of the name of this channel. I really don't know, but I am certainly looking forward to where it takes me, because it's exciting, you know, just to kind of be curious about where it's going to go. See you soon.